Alright, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Black Geek channel. Subscribe if you're new, because this it's been a while, so this is gonna be dope, man. Let's chat it up first. I went on vacation for my anniversary with my wife, bro, and it was such a dope experience, man. To get out of home, get out of the country for a little bit, actually, and go see some different places, man, was really it was an experience for me. It was an experience for her. Our puppies were at my aunt's, so that was dope for them to be in a different environment. Like, everything was dope. It was an outstanding week. I tried this noodle shop in Orlando, and it was an experience. Cause I'm not really a big, as much as I'm into like anime and manga and video games, I'm not really like an Asian or Oriental cuisine person at all. So that was an experience. But come on, bro, it's a Naruto themed restaurant, so I had to, and I didn't get Ichiraku, but I got like a barbecue pork ramen, and I also got barbecue pork soba buns. So shout out Choji and shout out Naruto. Now let's get into the chapter. That's what y'all are here for. And I'm gonna go ahead and let you guys know up front in the comment section below. Just ask any question you had about our vacation, and I'll probably answer it, as long as it's not like weird or like extremely personal. But let's get into the chapter, man. My Hero Academia, chapter 65, and this was how to start this, man. Bakugo is my favorite character. Let's start there. So, with Bakugo being my favorite character, to see some exploration into his character, into his line of thinking, into what makes him the character he is, was really good for me. I enjoyed that a lot. And while Deku has consistently grown on me since the start, where, as you know, shonen, most shonens kind of make you not want to like I say most. Some shonens have this way of like making you not like the main character at the start, and then they continually grow on you until they're your favorite character. That kind of felt like what happened for Midoriya and my relationship with Midoriya. You know what I'm saying? Like, how I feel about Midoriya as a character in this chapter, where, let's be real here, he could have just escaped by himself, and Bakugo would have been fine with it. Like, that was their plan, and that was kind of like their makeshift plan, where it's like, look, I'm gonna throw you my gauntlet, and like one of us has to escape for us to win. So our main goal is to win. But for Midoriya to be like, no, we're gonna do this together. Like, we entered this together, we're gonna do this together, like, to escape. And you taking like the blunt of this, for me to run to win, just doesn't feel right. It was big for me. That was a big moment for him, like, as a man. You know what I'm saying? Like, for him as a growing character, as someone that's not there yet, to see the progress. Because first, like, the early story Midoriya, I mean, we are early story still, but early story Midoriya would have froze. And then, like, a little bit later, he'd have ran off by himself and, like, cried later. So for him now to have been like, nah, neither one of those work. I got to steal All Might with all I got. And I want to give Deku some credit, because he took a New Hampshire smash and he was feeling it. He was feeling it later on, but he ate it, kind of. He kind of ate that. And that, once again, like, full Cowling Midoriya is the best form of Midoriya we've seen. By far. By far. I do like that All Might is coming into where he should have been originally as a teacher. And I guess being a teacher was new to him. I mean, he came into this looking like, he comes into the story looking for a successor. He comes in looking for someone to teach so he doesn't have the experience teaching. This is his first year at UA, so his teaching style, of course, isn't refined, as he's only been taught. He's never had to relay the message. But where he's at now as a mentor, as a teacher, a sensei, all of that, like he's showing development as a teacher. Where there's kind of like two ways of going about this. In we're seeing All Might take that like the next step. Where at first he just wanted Midoriya to grow at all, and now like he's trying to shape him in the right way. It was like, kid, just give it all you got. Like, just show some sign of promise. So show some sign of heroism. Like, you tell me, like, you just want to save folks. And what drew me to you is, like, that you'll act. You'll act on that feeling of wanting to save. But now it's like, look, I'm okay with you feeling like that. I want you to feel like you should go try to save people. But let's have a game plan. Let's not go risk everything. Let's not go ruin you. Go ruin your body for what? Like, for what? What are you doing that for? What do you gain out of that? You know what I'm saying? So, I like that. I like to see All Might's growth. I like to see All Might growing as a teacher. I also like that he noticed that Aizawa shouldn't have lost to Todoroki and Yaoyorozu. Because he shouldn't have. I mean, he gave up. He let them win, but that was also his sign of being a good teacher. And so to see so much progress from them as teachers is really just, I don't know, endearing. Is endearing the word I'm looking for here? It's just good to see. It was really good to see. A major point that I want to bring up is going back to Bakugo's mindset, because I really didn't get to dive deep into that. It was really a segue for me to talk about Midoriya. But Bakugo's whole ordeal here, where he realizes the gap, he realizes the wall, and this chapter is entitled "The Wall," and he realizes the same thing that Endeavor has had to come to realize more than anyone. He's realized the same thing that Midoriya has always realized, I guess. I mean, it's kind of like the reason why Midoriya has been hard for All Might to teach. And that's the gap between All Might and everyone else. Like, while it can come off as like a race for second place, and Endeavor kind of seems like he's far ahead in that race. So the gap between first and third is ridiculous. And so Bakugo's like, bro, this is what we're chasing. He sees like the raw speed and strength and endurance, because you know what I'm saying, Bakugo doesn't understand All Might's condition. So the endurance to be able to like take blows and just like, I'm still here, I'm still right here with you. And it's like this overwhelming feeling for Bakugo to be like, bro, I've been thinking this whole time like I'm up next, like All Might, bro. I look up to All Might, so like I'm gonna be just like him, and not realizing the amount of work he still has to put in was eye popping for him, and it's something that we as an audience should give credence to him for. Like, for him to realize and be like, okay, this has to be a turning point for me. Has to be like the start of a lot of growth for me, because he's already had to realize, like, man, I'm really not what I thought I was from chapter 1 to now. From seeing Todoroki, from being captured by the like the liquid villain, whatever his name was, muck villain, whatever, slime, from being captured by him, from the villains invading UA, or not UA, USJ. All of that is kind of geared him to, like, I have more work to do than I thought I had to do. But to see how tall the mountain he's trying to climb is for himself, the type of person that Bakugo is huge. Then to see like the feelings he has towards Midoriya, where we know that he and Midoriya not only have history, but we know that Bakugo suffers from this inferiority complex, and so a big part of that is it seems like Bakugo feels he's missing the initiative to save or the drive to save, like where his vision of save is beat up the bad guy versus save the person in distress. And they seem like they go hand in hand, and they do, but you need them both. You need them both. So Midoriya is also lacking some of the confrontational part, but we're seeing him get that, and so we're not seeing Bakugo get the save the person, and so he's looking at Midoriya adding and filling out what it takes to be like this complete hero, and the feelings that gives Bakugo, where we see him lash out and we see him damn Deku and all of that, right? It's just him feeling like, bro, I'm not really. I've seen this in Midoriya from the jump, from when we were kids, like a long time ago. I seen Midoriya do this when he didn't even have a power. So like my way of being ahead of someone who like I care about and I have this relationship with was like I have a power, so I am from them. To see Midoriya's growth, bro, it's crazy to me, man. So, and it's crazy to Bakugo as well. Mentally, you see it, and so for their back and forth in this chapter where it's like, look, you gotta go, because this is what it's gonna take for us to succeed. Like this is what I do is I cut ties and go beat up the villain, and this is where you gotta go. And he gives it his all. He gives it his absolute all against All Might, and probably has the line of this volume of what is this 8? Probably has one of the best lines of this volume where he's like, you know, my gauntlets allowed me to go just about all out with no risk. Who am I kidding to think I could climb the wall with no risk? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's tough. That's a tough line. That's tough. Like, how am I going to do this without risking, like, you know what I'm saying? So without the gauntlets, and we see him fire off that one shot, like, you know what I'm saying, when he empties the tank out, and even Midoriya was like, that should buy me some time. I gotta be going. And then All Might ate that, which is insane. Ate it. Stole Bakugo like, kid, you gotta stop destroying yourself. And that Recover Your flashback that All Might has, where he's like, you gotta stop praising them for risking their lives. Like, I'm not always gonna be here, you're not always gonna be there. Like, that's not something that we can accept. And so he's like, look, what you're doing to your body is just a little bit too much for me to risk, so let me stop you. And then Midoriya Smash still doesn't have like names to his smashes. It's just Smash, which, I mean, I guess they're coming. I guess that those are coming. But to see him come all out with it, like, nah, I'm still growing too, and I can beat up the bad guy and save who I came to save. Like, I can do both. I'm becoming the complete hero. Great chapter. Great chapter. 4 fire emoji chapter for me, man. It didn't hit me hard enough for 5 personally. I mean, that's just my feeling. It was a really good chapter. He had great dialogue. The action wasn't really bad. It just, I don't know. I didn't have like that moment where I was like, oh my, this is freaky, or wow, it didn't have like a huge payoff. If it did, I missed it, and let me know that I missed it in the comment section. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed this chapter a lot. Like this video if you liked it, or if you didn't, give it a thumbs down. I mean, they both go a long way. Subscribe to the channel if you're new once again, and hit the notification bell for more My Hero Academia content, as well as the other content on the channel, like The Promised Neverland, Black Clover, the video game streams that I promise I'm going to get back to doing, because you know what I'm saying, I'm back on my grind. There's going to be movie reviews, all that, man. Just I'm selling my PlayStation 3, or I'm getting hold for my PlayStation 3. I'm taking it to GameStop, I think. I haven't decided that yet. But that kind of takes up like a lot of my time, where I could be better with this, better with the streams, better with hanging out with my family. I mean, that's important too. So, so there's that, man. Be subscribed for all of that. And of course, in the comment section below, let me know if there's any questions you guys have about our vacation, and I'll feel free to answer those questions, as long as they're not like extremely personal or weird. But besides that, guys, have an outstanding rest of your day. Chapter was dope, man. I'm glad to be back. Peace.